Welcome back, Nick Lenz. Comic Corner Classic, Non-Classics. This is episode number 1213 and Doubleshot number 1107. I have the last two trades to collect issues from Champions Volume 2. First up, it is Volume 4, Northern Lights. Got a brand new writer. Yes, to replace Mark Waid, we have Jim Zeb, who would be the writer for the rest of this volume and the entirety of the next volume for the series. More about that in a minute. The cover is a very loose homage to... Okay, excuse me. Yeah, as I was saying, it's a loose homage to Avengers number 4 with having... I mean, yeah, it's... Anybody can tell by looking at this cover, it's a very loose homage to Avengers number 4 because the way that Ironheart is running at the reader. Yeah, it's a very much a homage to that, which I do appreciate the fact the artist did that. Now, Ironheart is part of this team now, along with Nydia. It's odd though Nydia was part of this group, despite the fact at the time she was part of the Avengers. Well, she was part of the group. Yep, and they have a brand new lineup. Yep, brand new lineup. Yep, to replace Cyclops. He quit the team. Yeah. Also, they do acknowledge some stuff that happened in other books, like in the case of what happened with Amadeus Cho, who is the Hulk at this point. Now, the lineup basically, part of this book was just Miles Morales Spider-Man, Amadeus Cho Hulk, Sam Alexander Nova, the Camilla Combas Marvel, and Vision. Joining them is just the Wasp and Ironheart for the start of it, but they also had like Snowbird. They had more members later on, even with the relaunch of the book. This book contains issues 19 through 21 and the Infinity Countdown issues. Yes, I'm discussing those. Now, Northern Lights, basically, yeah, they have sort of a brief fight with the Alpha Flight program. Yeah, the Alpha Flight program guest stars in this book. One of the very rare appearances they made outside of their own book, prior to apparently the organization has been disbanded because of what happened with Empire. That's recently. Also, the main villain of the storyline is old Alpha Flight villain, Master of the World. Yes, that's what he referred to himself as. Yep. It's overall, it's a good story arc. I like the fact they debuted the character Snowguard. Great character. They don't show off her backstory a little bit later. But as for the Infinity Countdown tie-in, oh boy, this particular thing. This 2-issue miniseries, which is done by the same, it's also by Jim Zeb. The artwork is done by M.L. Lorenzino. The artwork done with the main series done by Sean Ariski. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this miniseries, purely because of what happens with Sam Alexander. In this miniseries, basically, they're dealing with stuff leading up to Infinity. And he contacts Nova HQ, which is based off an asteroid, not Xandar itself. Oh, Xandar, because the planet itself, believe it or not, is, well, it's gone. Though no Force since been rebuilt, but the planet itself is basically a husk. If you're curious to why in the world it's like that, it's because what happened in Annihilation. Yeah, the Annihilation pretty much eviscerated the entire population of Xandar. Yeah, you have to read the Annihilation crossover. Yeah, that's the reason why for that. So, apparently, according, and of course, Scott Asta is in this two-part miniseries. And he says, "Oh, can I see your helmet, please?" And he's like, "Sure." He's like, "Bye-bye. Nova property." And Nova's like, "What?" Yeah, because he herself as Nova Saiyan, despite the fact that technically his helmet, Scott Asta is like, nope, this helmet is the property of Nova Corps, despite the fact it's been part of Nova since his debut back in 2012. Why the heck was the identity taken with for like 6 years after his debut? He made his debut, I think it was just prior to AVX. That's when he showed up. And he's been Nova now for 6 years. And it's taken away from him. And it's like this throughout the rest of this volume. and almost the entirety of the rest of the next volume until he finally gets Entity back. Now, in my opinion, when I saw this miniseries happen, I saw this particular plot that would happen. Taking away Sam Alexander's identity as Nova, in my honest opinion, was a terrible idea. Because Sam Alexander did a really good job, basically. Well, writers at Marvel did a great job of developing him. People like Jeff Loeb, Gary Duggan, I think. Yeah, I'm sorry, just that basically my dad is texting me. This will take just a minute. Just okay. Now then, yeah, this Northern Light story itself was really good, and also this arc had a debut of the Champion's Bunker. Yes, it's a mobile, let's just say ship in a way, that was their base operations for the rest of this volume and the entirety of the next volume. And I did read the first issue of the current volume for the series because of the Kamala Law stuff in the Outlaw storyline. They got their base taken away from them because there can't be teenage vigilantes. I think the whole Outlaw storyline is really dumb. I hope it's some because it sounds very similar to the Superhuman Registration Act. It is so similar. It's almost like saying that the teenage vigilantes, like, they're only good as sidekicks. Wow, such backwards thinking. I thought we outdated. I thought this was just a dead concept. Especially in some of these characters have established characters for years. Yep. But Northern Lights up really good. Now, as for in the case of next volume 5, Weird War 1. This book contains Champions 22-27. That was actually the end of volume 2. And the annual. Jim Zed writes everything, though he does co-write the annual with Nala and Sukap, which is basically the backstory for Snowguard. Yeah, it's basically her backstory. Yep. And some of the characters get brand new looks to them. Because in the previous volume, because we'll have what Nova gets, again, didn't take away. Also, Ironheart's first armor that she had, well, the armor that she had where it's kind of based upon the Tony Stark armor from Bendis' run, yeah, that's completely destroyed. Yeah, it was replaced by this brand new armor. Yeah, and also Armitage Toe got sort of depowered, and they both look like this. Yeah, he's now known as Brawn. He's not the Hulk anymore. He's Brawn. And the champions do something I never expect them to ever do. During the course of this storyline, they go to Weird World. Yes, Weird World. Which is the first time anybody's been back here since... I kid you not. I think the last time Weird World was seen, that I can think of, was back in Extraordinary X-Men. Yes, that was by Jeff Lemire. Yeah, that came out roughly about 2 years prior to this. And that was that was like the last unofficial time that Weird was ever seen in Marvel Comics. Yeah, it was basically an arc for Extraordinary X-Men because it basically also had its own ongoing series, which I think that was done by Sam Humphries, got canceled 6 issues. There's also the Black Knight series, which canceled the 5 issues, and Extraordinary X-Men, and then nothing for 2 years. And then we have this really interesting storyline. Yes. Where they all become like these stuff related to Weird World. Yeah. This storyline overall I thought was pretty good. Interesting way to end the volume itself. And from what I heard, that at this point in the time in the series, I didn't hear this until when the car did a review for the Beat the Devil 2-parter from the next line for the series of why the restart happened. Because series suffered from because basically the sales were slipping for the series. So, and yes, I do agree. This was an absolute stupid idea when this happened last year. Marvel's solution to solve the low sales problem is to restart the numbering. Yes, still an outdated concept, in my opinion. Fans, readers themselves are getting tired of all the relaunches. Yeah, but in the case of this volume overall, final thoughts on this volume. Yeah, it starts out with basically the Mark Waid run, which is really good. I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. And it's interesting, though, by the end of the recent volume for the series, most of this lineup is still intact, though the Teenage Cyclops is gone. Yeah, in case you're curious, though, about the cover for the first issue, yeah, which is also the cover of the trade, Cyclops does not join the first issue. Nope, it's just Vision, who actually gets a brand new look. Yeah, she gets a look that's similar to her father's. Yeah. Yeah, this new outfit she wears here on this page. Yeah, that's the outfit she wears, which is a very similar look to the current look that her father, the original Vision, wears. And Sogard gets a chance to meet, basically, Vision's own father. And she gets along fine with him. Yep. But in the case of this particular volume for Champions, yeah, it's an overall really good volume. I do have a slight problem with the relaunch numbering. They apparently kept numbering from the previous volume of the series and ignored the fact that it was a Champions book published back in the 70s. Yeah, probably because it's a different team, but why would you ignore that numbering for? It makes no freaking sense at all. Yeah, I have no idea why. Yeah. I think the whole Champions idea for a series was actually a brilliant stroke of genius on the part of Marvel Comics to do. Because, well, they haven't had a teenage-based series in some time. Not since what happened with Young Avengers when it got canceled. Yeah, for a good reason. Because the Karen Gillan one was awful. Really bad. Champions is good. Really good. I didn't mind the relaunch at all. No, they even added some people who were technically, they added Dust. Yes, Dust from the X-Men books. Which I thought that was interesting. Though I think that relaunch's book probably is the reason for its book's cancellation. Kind of like what happened with Nova. Yep, kind of like what happened with Nova. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. Next view is a review of a light novel. Yes, I haven't done one of these in a while. I'm reviewing the light novel for One Piece. Yes, a One Piece light novel. I'll discuss that next. Okay, to the next video. Bye.